You are the Overlord. You are the Overlord. You live in a castle surrounded by your demon servants. It's a pretty cushy life, you think. Except for those pesky humans who keep killing members of your army. It's even a role-called hero whose whole purpose in life is just to dethrone you. What's their deal, anyway? You've actively avoided annoying the humans in hopes they'll leave you and your army alone, but they never do. You're still new to the whole Overlord thing. If you're being quite honest with yourself, you don't really understand the politics of it. But you remind yourself everyone is just doing their best to fulfill their roles. You won't let them bait you into being the evil Overlord they expect. You think you're pretty cool and mature to hold yourself to the highest standard like that. One of your underlings walks into your room, totally interrupting your thoughts about how awesome you are, saying something about how boring it is to stay in one place guarding the castle all the time, especially since no one ever comes here anyway. You see that point, but the way they're whining about it kinda bothers you. What to do with this underling? You tell them to go take a break from the stifling castle atmosphere and refresh their dark soul. A day off should be fine every once in a while. They thank you, happily scare you off to do who knows what. You have nothing better to do today, so you decide to nap for a little while. Being the Overlord sure is great. You wait to knock on your door. The underling from earlier brought back some company. It's a maiden from the nearby human village. She says her role is to be captured by you. The maiden then goes on to say that she's been getting very impatient thinking about her impending capture, so she's come here to speed things along. You appreciate her honesty, but regret to inform her you never had any plans to capture any humans. She seems very disappointed by this. Perhaps I'm not performing my well enough. How can I become more maiden-like? Don't really understand the question. You think this world puts way too much focus on destiny and junk. Just go home and stop worrying about it, you tell her. Maiden seems to be having a hard time unwrapping her head around this. She insists that she stay and talk to you more. You feel warm inside as she looks into your eyes. It's the first time a human has looked at you without contempt. You wonder what to say. You can't bring yourself to send this maiden away. She just got here. You enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not at all what she expected them to be. You're glad that she seems to have an open mind about these kinds of things. You also bring up how you always instruct your army to avoid humans, as not to agitate them and get yours sent after you. That explains why the people of my village have been left unharmed. It's because of your orders, isn't it? We are very grateful. You're surprised to hear her thank you. You've always thought of humans to be violent and unreasonable. That's why your servants are always getting killed, despite your efforts to leave them alone. But this maiden is different. It shows that maybe you've been lying to her this whole time, and that you are actually super evil all along. The maiden laughs at that, saying she wouldn't mind being held captive here. People in her village are a little exhausting at times, she says. You can't tell if she's into you or not. You're interrupted by another human in your doorway. This time it's a hero. He's apparently searching for the maiden, who is rumored to have been captured by your kind. Captured? Not at all. Only wanted to meet with the Overlord. Did anyone read the note I left behind? After everything is explained, the hero expresses his relief that this whole misunderstanding hadn't led to any horrible consequences. The maiden apologizes for causing trouble, and the hero asks her to return to the village with him. Confusing feelings well up inside your heart. You're surprised that you had one of those to begin with. Don't want the hero to take this maiden away from you. The maiden came here to be captured by you, didn't she? You'll grant her wish. You tell the hero you won't let him take her home. The maiden assures you she'll be back, but you don't budge. The hero is cautious now. If you won't let her go, maybe you demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. You have no choice. You destroy the hero before you can steal your maiden away. She's frightened. You don't understand why. Didn't she say she prefers this place to her village? Now she doesn't have to leave. Take a step toward the maiden, and she backs herself into a corner. You don't understand. She wanted to stay here with you. He was trying to get in the way of that. You had to kill him. You be sure to keep this maiden very safe from now on. You give them a lecture about responsibility and unquestioning obedience. Your servants are to do whatever they're told, whether they like it or not. They look really unhappy with you, but you're sure they'll thank you for this later. Venturing too far from the castle tends to spell death. You dismiss the underling, lie down in your nice and comfy overlord bed. Oh, that lecturing made you want to take a nap. Fall asleep pretty quick, just another of your amazing talents as the overlord. You thought you had told that underling to do their job, not drag strangers into your room? This looks like they took on unauthorized breakaway from the castle. You scold them, but ultimately you're a little interested in this guest. You let them off easy. That underling's not so bad. You'd love to have all the conversations in the world with your new friend, but having a human girl here will definitely cause trouble. You put on your mean face and tell her to get lost. The maid turns out to be very stubborn. You don't want to hurt her, but you also really want her to leave in case something bad happens. This whole situation just asking for trouble, you think. Against your better judgment, you let her hang out for a little while longer. Enjoy a nice long chat with her, sharing stories about your kind. She expresses her surprise that demons are not You're certain that she'll return to spend more time with you. You just have to trust in that, you decide. With the hero and main gone, you plop down into the comfort of your luxurious overlord bed. You feel so empty now. Is this loneliness? Your new friend will be back soon. You close your eyes for a while until your door slams shut. Before you know it, everything around you is being engulfed in flames. What's going on? You try to escape, but something's blocking the door. You're having trouble forcing it open. What is this? Someone didn't want you getting out. Are you being usurped? They have zero foresight. What castle will they rule from if this one burns? You don't want to believe that your underlings have betrayed you, but this is no accident. Those ungrateful jerks. Those ungrateful fiends. You choke on the thick black smoke from the fire. You can't believe you're being done in by a bunch of cowards. You'll see them in hell. You're wakened by one of your underlings. A hero wishes to speak with you. He inquires about a maiden who is rumored to be here, but you've never seen her. Humans don't visit often, or ever, really. As the hero takes his leave, you wonder why he totally trusted you there. Heroes traditionally kill demons. This guy seemed like he was bad at his job, in your opinion. Whatever. You're still feeling sleepy, so you go right back to your nap. You hear voices in the hall. You're not sure how long you slept. The sound of a shutting door forces you awake. You wake to a huge commotion outside. The heroes showing up and start totally murdering your soldiers. What the hell, guy? You rush out into the battlefield to confront this jerkwad. You curse at him and very rudely inquire his reasons for doing all this. The hero yells at you, demanding you return the maiden you're holding captive. You don't know what he's talking about, but you can't forgive his actions. You do battle with the hero, but he has grown strong from cutting down your army. You're unable to defeat him. With decisive swings, he stabs and cuts you to pieces. You fall. You have failed your subjects. You spit curses weakly. You wish you'd been stronger. Maybe you were never suited to be the overlord in the first place. Truth was, you were never that much more powerful than the demons who served you. It was the title, the control that gave you strength. Those are your thoughts easier swallowed by darkness. You notice the sounds of battle have started ringing through your castle halls. The maiden is getting nervous, but you reassure it's only your underlings roughhousing, no big deal. You know it's probably a hero, but you don't want to upset the maiden by telling her that. Your army will take care of it. It isn't long before the hero bursts into your room. But you shouldn't have made it here. Why didn't they stop him? The hero just stands there unsure of himself. He is covered in demon blood. As the maiden speaks to him, trying to explain the situation, you move past the hero and out the door. You're not thinking clearly. Seeing your servants' bodies in pieces all strewn about your castle is really taking it out of you. That hero did this? There's so much blood. Why? Did he come for the maiden? Did he think She needed rescuing? There's no one for this hero to save here. There was never any harm meant to anyone. You were just talking with her. Why has it turned out like this? You feel a sudden sharp pain through your back. You look down to see a blade protruding from your chest. Oh, that was careless of you. This is how you die, stabbed in the back by some cowardly hero. What a joke. You're supposed to be the ruthless one. That's right, humans can't be trusted. Not if this is what they're capable of. You should remember that before letting one in. You watch as the hero takes the maiden's hand, leading her through the sea of corpses he'd left in his wake. Captured by a demon. At least she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. The hero stops babbling and sincere apologies and excuses, realizing his wrongdoing, but you're far beyond hearing that kind of nonsense. You've had it with these heroes, always murdering your servants for no reason. You can no longer hold yourself back and lash out at the hero. When you regain control, there is nothing left of the hero. The maiden has fled in terror. You are alone. She's surprisingly cool with it? Nice! You stay on your adventure outside the castle. The change of atmosphere excites you and you spend here or out. You seem to be getting along just fine, so you decide it's about time for a nap. You don't get to sleep long. Your friends wake you up. So you have to be disloyal. Not a address this. But the Overlord objects to the hero's suggestion. You tell her you plan on returning soon, but she isn't having it. You feel nervous. The hero puts on a brave face for you. If you will let her go, maybe your demons are evil after all, and if you are, I'll be forced to vanquish you. And you leave me no choice. But suddenly jumps the hero. She tears into him with her claws. You want to cry out, but the scream catches in your throat. You watch because you can't look away. Has she really been lying to you all along? You wonder, is this your punishment for questioning the divine plan? Your Lord approaches you now. You back yourself into a corner. The expression is complicated. Being captured by the Overlord in a horrible way like this was your destiny after all. The Overlord stops, or rather someone has stopped her. Whatever it held back your scream before, it doesn't stop you this time. The Overlord is being ripped to shreds by one of her demon underlings. You think you recognize them, but it's hard to tell with all the blood. Everyone stopped moving now. The room is silent, save for the underlings' heavy breathing. Thank them for what they've done. Even though it was awful, you feel you've been rescued from a terrible fate. Look at you confused for a moment, but then puff out their chest. You should probably go home. This place is dangerous. You follow their advice and make your way out the castle. You decide never to leave home again for the rest of your life. She vows to keep you very safe from now on. You're afraid to find out what that means, but there's no one left to save you. You belong to the Overlord now. Something sharp pierces your back. The hero? No, he's already... It's one of your underlings. The maiden screams. The servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slain by your own underling. But the Overlord objects to this. The maiden tries to tell her that she'll come right back, but the Overlord refuses to hear it. The maiden seems nervous. As a hero, it's your job to mediate situations like this. You tell the Overlord that if she doesn't let the two of you go, you'll have to assume she's evil. You'll be forced to vanquish her. You leave me no choice. The Overlord pauses before suddenly jumping you. You are helpless as she disembowels you with her claws. How horrible. You came all this way only to be met with this cruel fate. You should have destroyed these evil creatures while you had the chance. Your dying wish is for the maiden to somehow make it out of this alive. But you were toward the Overlord's castle. Alright. But you were too late. Through the unguarded gates, you spot a group of demons surrounding a body. The maiden... She was a fool to have trusted the demons after all. Your hero blood is boiling. You'll avenge her death. You charge at the gates to eliminate every demon you see. What the are you doing, killing all my soldiers? Your Overlord is angry. You vow to exterminate her and all of demonkind. You clash again and again, but the Overlord isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health when everything goes black. The quest has come to an abrupt end. Maiden does what she's told and takes her leave. You figure you may as well go back to bed now. But you don't get to rest for very long. You wake up to the sounds of battle. A hero is cutting through your army. As the Overlord, it's your job to take charge in these kinds of situations. You rush out to end this hero's pitiful existence. Foul demons, I shouldn't have believed for a second that you were anything but pure evil. I'll exterminate you all. You don't really get what he's going on about, but you're engaged regardless. A girl's gotta defend her people. You clash again and again, but the hero isn't going down easily. You're both dangerously low on health, waiting for the other to make a move when one of your underlings appears behind him. They knock the hero unconscious. You kind of appreciate it, but can't they see this was a duel? They don't respond. You sense a murderous intent. Your servant tackles you, tearing you apart with their claws. You struggle to retaliate. They've done too much damage. You can barely move now. Your blood is everywhere. You can't believe this has happened to you. Why has this happened to you? You've been slayed by your own underling. A suspicious group of demons stands just outside the entrance. They're talking about assassinating the Overlord. They immediately notice you overheard them, and then you recognize from before is the first to do something about it. This is just the way it has to be! They suddenly attack you. In that moment you regret having ever trusted the demons. You die instantly. You and your friends turn to notice the maiden from earlier has overheard your entire conversation. It'd be bad for you if the Overlord found out about this. This is just the way it has to be, you declare, before jumping her and clawing her guts out. Turns out you're already an expert at ending lives. Your friends call you a show-off. You go back into the castle to wash off all the icky human blood. As you finishing up, you hear the sounds of a battle outside. A hero has come. Seeing the dead maiden must have made him pretty angry. You get to thinking, this hero took down the Overlord for you. Everything might actually work out in your favor. You wait for things to die down outside before poking your head out. You spot the Overlord and hero locked in battle. They've worn each other down, making this very easy for you. Once an opening presents itself, you hit the back of the hero's head, knocking him out. What are you doing? Could you tell this was a duel? You don't respond. You have to carry out the assassination. You tackle her and rip her to shreds with your claws until she stops moving. You finish off the hero next. You can't let her revive and come after you later. Kind of a cheap victory. But it doesn't make any difference. Anyone who manages to survive comes crawling out of their hiding places. You are the new ruler of this... Lord Underling and A. You and your friends seize the maiden and bring her to the dungeon under the castle. It's empty, save for the decorative skulls. They're only there to make it feel more spooky. The maiden is very upset. You leave her in the cell to continue scheming with your friends. But now a hero has arrived at the front gates. Sounds about the maiden, perhaps the very one you just locked up. The gatekeeper, who must have seen everything, tells the hero exactly what happened. What an idiot you think might give the hero an excuse to start slaughtering us. Helios prepared to face justice and other such cliche hero lines before driving his sword into the gatekeeper's torso. You're small compared to a lot of your friends who are able to slip away without getting cut up by that sword. Get to thinking if the hero When you reach the gates, you ask the demons if they've seen the maiden. They have. They inform you she's being held in the dungeon at the moment. She trusts them, and in return, they lock her up? These demons are truly evil beings after all. Demand they take you to her, but they do not let you pass. Should have expected as much from these unreasonable creatures. You know what you must do. You thrust your blade through the demon before you and rush the castle alone. You're the only one who can save the maiden now. What are you doing, killing all my soldiers? Fire. They immediately notice you overheard them and decide to lock you in the dungeon before you can cause any trouble. You cry out, but the demons ignore your protests. You can't believe you escaped possibly being thrown in a cell block in your village, only to be tossed in this awful place. This is terrible. Who's going to keep those demons from harming the Overlord? You hope she can fend for herself. You sure can't. You hear the sounds of battle echoing through the halls outside. Do the hero follow you? If he's out there, your cries don't reach him. After a while, the violence seems to die down. It's impossible to tell what has happened. You continue to wait, but no one comes for you. In order to escape, you rot in that cell. One of your underlings is he has traditionally killed demons. This guy seemed like he was bad at his job, in your opinion. Whatever, you're still feeling sleepy, so you go right back to your nap. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You try to struggle, but you can't. But you can tell you're already mortally wounded. What have you done to deserve this kind of ending? Remember now, you gave this one a day off, and this is how it repays you? I wonder if you could have done anything to prevent this. You're awakened by one of your underlings. They brought you a hero who inquires about a missing maiden. You're telling me you don't know anything. Humans never really visit this place. He believes and goes home. To your surprise, he figured he might try to fight you, but you're glad to get back to your nap instead. Till you wake up to something completely unexpected. One of your underlings is tearing your throat out. You curse him, choke you on your own blood. He died. Wonder if you could have done anything to prevent this. You feel uneasy, but aren't sure why. Sound of a shutting door forces you awake. Everything's being engulfed in flames. Try to escape. Foam. No. You figure if people are this upset just the sight of you, they won't fully appreciate any terrible acts you commit. Also, they might fight back, probably. Huh. Uh-huh. Lane instantly bursts into your room, accompanied by a hero. She's trying frankly to communicate something to you, but you're still half asleep. They tell you a group of demons is after your life. You still don't grasp the urgency of the situation when Riley's barging in next, shouting that the humans are liars. They're followed by another group of demons, crying that everything was the first underling's plan. Shouting at each other now. It's very annoying. You yell for all of them to shut their traps. No doubt that your servants will let their ambition cloud their judgment and lead them to try to take your throne. Regardless if you let this conspiracy, I have no choice but to punish anyone to keep you all in your place, crushed beneath my feet. Saying that made you feel very overlord-like. You aren't sure if you have the strength to back it up, though. Lately, all you do is sleep. Group of demons start muttering something about going back to Plan A and suddenly slam your door shut. You, the man, the hero, and one of your underlings are trapped inside. In an instant, the whole room is in flames. The underlings pound the door, cursing at their friends for betraying them. As well as vowing to slay the cowardly demons on the other side. That's how you'll die, burned alive in your own room by those you thought you could trust. Expect this from a bunch of demons, though. Notice the main crying. Why does she have to die over something that has nothing to do with her? Perhaps she was cursed from the moment she spoke to you. One of you cursed as well. You're so filled with anger and frustration you don't even notice that you've grabbed the underling whose traitors blamed everything on. They cried for mercy, saying that they were dragged into this plot knowing they'd be killed if they took your side. They cried that they didn't want to have to kill you. You almost feel sorry for them. You pierce their chest with your claws. They scream. The hero backs away. He is wise not to interfere. They stop moving, but you keep digging and twisting your claws into them. It doesn't make you feel any better. His corpse burns along with you and the two humans. You release the underling. Killing them wouldn't make you feel any better. Besides, they've already gotten their punishment. You'll all burn together. Before you're taken back to reset the story once again, you pause for a moment. True end, you say to yourself? What was the point of all my effort if the true ending is this terrible? You must have forgotten where you were. This is the bad end, Theodore! Is the pain setting in? Oh, but you should have been well aware of what you've been shown when you enter this place. It's a problem I've seen quite often. At some point, you grew attached to my little cast. You started to relate to their flaws, their plights. You started wishing for their happiness. But you aren't going to find that here in my theater, my lovingly crafted labyrinth of suffering. Anyway, I hope you'll pardon the interruption. You're making great progress. The choice to continue on to the next ending is always yours. I'll leave you to it, dear guest. To your surprise, the Overlord spares you! Or maybe you should rather see you suffer instead. Looking around, you've just gone from one dead end to another. The maiden is crying, the hero is silent. You'll all burn together. No matter the perspective, the true ending remains the same, and that's what makes it true. You couldn't resist seeing it for yourself, though, could you? I wonder what will happen when you collect them all. Will you give in to despair? Or... The Overlord spares the underling. You feel relieved, but does it make any difference? Will you all burn together? The letter flutters down from beyond the curtain. You found lost letter number 2. You pause when you see a group of suspicious demons standing near the entrance. They're talking about assassinating their overlord. This proves to you that demons really are foul creatures. She's going to kill it as a retribution. She used to cry and make excuses, but the Overlord does nothing. To your surprise, she lets it go. Are demons capable of mercy? I guess it doesn't matter now. You'll all burn together. A letter flies down from behind the curtain. You found lost letter number 1. My love, it just isn't fair at all, is it? For them to force us apart like this. It's unreasonable, cruel. I had to find an outlet for this grief somehow, so I decided to write, and I'll keep writing till the day you find me once more, and then maybe we could write a story together. I'm waiting for that day. Yours forever, Tragedy. My love, I've finally fulfilled a childhood dream of mine. Is this why I've opened up my very own theater? You'd be so proud. If you could only see it, I know how much it would have meant to you to be at my side on opening night. I'm sorry for going ahead without you, but I thought if my theater could become world famous, then maybe you just might hear of it. Wherever you are, forever yours, Tragedy. You and Johnson the Maiden's prayers. You've decided to find a way to save everyone. But retracing the paths you've seen so far, there doesn't seem to be any room to avoid a bad ending. Is there really nothing you can do to keep them all from getting killed in the end? There's nothing you can do by acting from within their story. Maybe it's time to take things into your own hands. You boldly insert yourself into the story and use your incredible power to warp everyone to safety. You didn't know you could do that, but what's going on here? You take a moment to get a good look at yourself. You are you. Why are you pitch black? You feel that this body doesn't accurately represent you, but you move past it. The hero, maiden, underling, and overlord have been staring at you too. They look like they don't really know what they're supposed to do right now. You guess that's because you're usually the one guiding them. What will you say to them? You explain to the group that you've witnessed their many terrible and intertwining fates, and now you're searching for a good ending. Of course, this makes no sense to any of them. Only the maiden understands your compassion. My prayers have been answered. You must be a god? No. You're merely the player. Does any god here to be the final boss? That's just how these role-playing games go. Now you realize what the real true ending must be. Now, enough of this! I admit I've been encouraging you all along, but a self-insert story? How passe! You watch helplessly as tragedy descends from the heavens. You didn't honestly believe you were the only one who could force your way onto this stage, did you? I am the narrator, storyteller, god of this world. Call me tragedy if you like. Darkness envelops your party. You don't mind if I send each of them back to relive one of their many bad endings, right? You're alone in the darkness with me, tragedy. I sincerely hope you've been enjoying your time in my theater. Though I can't hide you stealing the show without permission. It's quite disrespectful. I want to see something new. Are you trying to say my bad endings have gone out of style? You have some nerve. You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending. That's all that's left for you, isn't it? Well, this does sound like it could be entertaining. Show me what you got. Time to fight God. The stage is set for your final battle against me, the god of this world. What will you do? How will you fight against tragedy itself? I'd love to see it. You tried closing off your heart to protect yourself, but it doesn't make you feel any better. Oh, is that all? You know to defeat me like that. Faith, let me try. You try your best to tear me down, but you can't seem to do any damage. You don't truly exist in this world, after all. Perhaps you don't understand just how outclassed you are here. Behold my beautiful tragic tales! Doesn't seeing them all again make your heart ache? You've witnessed 39 of my painstakingly crafted endings. Your heart does indeed ache for these characters. How could you want to put an end to all this? Do you truly care for them that much? They're still suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here to see the end of the world. That's right. You came here to save them. You can't do this alone. You find the hero in his home hunched over his sewing table. Your sudden intrusion scares the hell out of the poor guy. Oh, you some kind of demon? You explain that? No, you're not a demon. How can you explain it in a way the hero can understand? Instead, you ask what he's sewing. Oh, this? I craft my own hero gear. He senses pride in his hobby. You wonder if the costumes are what attracted him to the role of hero. Would you like some clothes? You don't seem to be wearing any. You remember the state of your body and decide that yes, some clothes from the hero would be nice. You're overjoyed by your answer. Apparently his outfits are too gaudy for the other townsfolk, so no one else wants them. The true end for the hero suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change his fate. I can make a living as a tailor rather than a hero? Please tell me what I can do to reach that dream. The hero will now fight alongside you. I agreed to follow you, but I didn't expect to face something like this. The hero has arrived and really couldn't have a final boss battle without him. You're the one who's been killing us, murderer. I can't truly call myself a hero until I see you defeated. We'll see about that. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. You happen to find the maiden as she exits the church, your heart set on meeting a demon. Perfect timing. She approaches you, having already taken notice of your odd form. Excuse me, are you a traveler? I've never seen anyone like you before. You explain that no, you're not a traveler. Well, maybe you are, in a sense. You've come all this way. The maiden regards you with excited curiosity. Then perhaps you might be a demon? I was hoping I'd meet one today. You think of all the terrible fates that hope would bring about. She is the catalyst of this story, after all. My role as a maiden is to be captured by the Overlord. But you see, I've grown so tired of waiting. Remember this part? She wanted to understand her role better, and so you ask what it is, so she's really hoping to gain from this. Mina is confused by a question. Perhaps it was as simple as wanting to reach the place she felt like she belonged. The true end for this maiden suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. If there's something I can do to find fulfillment, then please guide me. The maiden will now fight alongside you. What is this horrible creature? You ruined me, dear maiden. Is tragedy really such a terrible thing to behold? Remember all the awful things you put us through. This will be familiar to you as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. You approach the gates of the Overlord's castle. The underling is on guard duty as you expected. They call out to you. The other demon guard is sound asleep. Hey, you're pretty weird-looking intruder. What do you want? You explain that no, you're not an intruder, although you're definitely intruding onto the story right now. You tell the underling you've come to save them from tragedy. Okay, try saving me from boredom first. I hate this job. The underling snickers. Yes, what kind of job they'd rather have? It'd be best if I didn't have to work at all. Just want to live a carefree life and never get bossed around or picked on. You think of the underling's friends who had bullied them into an assassination plot only to betray them in the end. If they kept better company, maybe they wouldn't feel so restless. The true end for the underlings suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change their fate. So there's a way that even war can be fun? Sounds fake, but I'll tag along with you just in case. The underling will now fight alongside you. What the... you didn't say anything about a boss battle! The underling? You must be desperate to call in such an unreliable ally. If I beat this guy up, all my problems will be over. Oh, but it won't be that easy. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. You enter the Overlord's room, relieved to see the fire contained the torches on the walls. When you close the door behind you, the Overlord rises from a slumber. Who are you? Have you come to reside in my castle and serve me? Explain that no, you're not here to serve her. It's more like you've come to do her a favor. You ask why she spends all day sleeping instead of commanding a demon army. She laughs in response. Many of my underlings certainly think I should be more aggressive with the humans like my father before me. His quest for revenge was endless and self-perpetuating. There's a reason I had to destroy him. You can't help but think it's a little late in the game to begin some new backstory. I have no interest in waging war on the humans. I merely wish to be left alone to live a peaceful, indulgent life in my castle. You realize she must actually be very lonely, only surrounded by soldiers instead of friends. No wonder she gets so attached to the maiden. The true end for the Overlord suddenly becomes clear. You offer to change her fate. My own attempts at peace have been rather imperfect. If you offer a solution, then very well, I will follow you. The Overlord will now fight alongside you. I see. So this is strategy. Ah, you brought the Overlord. I don't stand a chance now. You prevent me from attaining peace for long enough. Prepare to die. I hope you're prepared to face your deaths as well. Tragedy attacks with a terrible fate. Now that the whole party's here, can you solve my final puzzle? Which combination of behaviors will open the path to your true ending? Show me. Willpower. You reign of terror and see a tragedy. I refuse to give in. You uses his willpower to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. The maiden tries to appeal to tragedy with kindness. So naive, I'll balance your kindness with my cruelty. Our true endings do exist. They simply must. Maiden hopes with all her heart to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. Knock me down and I'll just come back stronger. The underling uses their tenacity to overcome tragedy. Tragedy is reeling. I'll reach my true ending with my own power. The Overlord uses ambitious nature to overcome tragedy. This is it. With everyone's hearts united, you take aim toward your best possible futures. You unleash one final attack to destroy tragedy once and for all. You've done it. You've managed to defeat me. A tragic ending for tragedy itself. I love it. I must thank you all for fulfilling your roles perfectly. Thank you, hero. Thank you, maiden. Thank you, underling. Thank you, Overlord. Enough of this nonsense. We defeated you, so die already. Don't worry, I'll be making my exit shortly. Finally, thank you most of all. We couldn't have made it here without you. Yes, my bad end theater did contain a truly good ending after all. I apologize for antagonizing you for so long. I wanted to deliver a satisfying story. Was I able to do it? I wonder. Thank you. I really appreciate that. Happy endings shouldn't always come easily. Reality is not so kind. But you've earned this one. Here's your true ending. Oh, so you weren't done with my bad endings, and now you're back for more. You have to cancel out your true ending if you want to go back to the way things were before our final battle. Shall we begin the resetting process? There are two options. If you miss out on seeing all 41, you can keep your progress reset to before you start the true ending, or you can erase all and replay the game as if you're very first time. You have to collect everything all over again. You can't take us back, so choose carefully. Your progress has been reset. You're now free to enjoy the rest of my bad endings. He suddenly strikes, cutting through you with his blade. He didn't even hesitate. Ah, you've gone soft. How could you be let your guard down like that? Unfair after all you've done to avoid this outcome. You can't outrun your destiny. The hero always slays the overlord. You should never have trusted a human. You watch as he escorts the maiden out of your castle. Captured by a demon. At least she got what she came here for. You join your army in eternal slumber. You sneak up to the Overlord's room, but there's a couple of humans in there. You watch the scene unfold. You aren't sure why, but the Overlord suddenly cuts down the hero. She approaches the maiden you brought to her earlier. With the Overlord distracted, you figure this is as good a chance as any. You launch a sneak attack, getting her right in the back. She flinches, giving you enough advantage to take her down. You rip the Overlord apart until she stops moving. As messy than you would have liked, the maiden mutters something from the corner. Thank you for saving me. It wasn't your intention, but it sounds like you did something heroic. You tell the maiden to go home. This place is dangerous. She follows your advice and leaves the castle. Your castle! You are the new Overlord. My love, I've been feeling a little depressed lately. Many patrons have come to my theater, but none so far have stayed to experience every tale in its entirety. The critics haven't exactly been kind, but I understand. My stories aren't exactly crowd pleasers. Despite that, you always listen to the very end. I'm grateful for that. Hope to see you again soon. Forever yours, Tragedy. Why does it turn out like this? There's nobody on, but you were just talking to her. Why does it turn out like this? I mean, shout something behind you. And he turns just in time to see her throw herself between you and the Hero's blade. It pierces her chest, and she falls to the floor, lifeless. As the pool of blood beneath her grows, so does your rage. This hero has taken everyone from you now. You lose control, and the hero is obliterated. But your hatred for the humans has not yet been sated. You go on to destroy them all, and become ruler of the entire world. My love, do you remember when we first met? I had just finished with one of my scripts. One I was quite proud of, in fact. As I read it aloud, you happened to pass by. What a terrible ending, you said. Why should these poor fools have to die? You were so rude. You wouldn't accept any of my justifications, and yet you managed to convince me. It really would be better if everyone could live in harmony, however unrealistic that felt. I look back fondly on that day, even now. I wonder if somewhere you're thinking of it too. Forever yours, Tragedy. Congratulations, explored every path I had to offer. Thanks for playing. And that, my friends, was Bad End Theater. I'm sick of all these bad endings! Then, frankly, you should never have come to a place called Bad End Theater. Haven't we already been over this? You think defeating me might just be the only way to see a better ending. Time to fight God. Perhaps you don't understand. That's how outclassed you are. Witness all 41 of my painstakingly did endings. You must be as much of a masochist as me. I comprehend your thoroughness. Surely these characters have a special place in your heart. Souls suffering backstage, you know. It's a shame they couldn't make it here to the end of the world. That's right. You came here to save them. You can't do this alone. Hero tries using his belief in justice to fight tragedy. That justice applies to you too, does it not? Will you pay for your own misdeeds? The underling tries to evade tragedy through mischievous means. You're so much fun. Would you like a reminder of where that mischief will lead you? The Overlord tries to fight tragedy with sheer brutality. Oh, has violence really been working out for you so far? I'll show you my own brutality. Your HP has run out. You're overcome by tragedy. If you wish to challenge me again, collect more bad endings. Something's missing. Oh, you're still here. The curtain is closed for the final time. I'm shutting down my theater. There are no more tragedies left for me to tell, after all. Me? You'd like to know why I started this theater? Because I'm obsessed with bad endings, of course. You gently raise your fingers to the cracks in my mask. Piece by piece, it falls apart in your hands, revealing... I should have warned you. This might affect what you think of my stories. You can't help but compare my face to the man's. I'm not her. It's not like she isn't me, necessarily. It's how it is with fiction. Would you like to hear... not another ending, but the truth? Alright, one last story. You may already know this, but it doesn't have a happy ending. First, I'll set the stage. In this world, there are no such things as demons, or even heroes, really. There was a girl eager to set out to fulfill some sort of destiny. That part was true. She married someone. Another girl. A running theme, isn't it? The maiden and the overlord. The two were inseparable. For a time, everything was just wonderful. But their families, the communities they came from, neither could approve of their relationship. That's the reality for many. This pair was no different. Despite their best efforts, the world was intent on pulling them apart. We usually like the types of stories where love conquers all. Where the strength of your love will pull you through any hardship, and everything's okay in the end. I lost her. And then I started this theater. Huh? I was hoping to find you. It's you! It's been so long. I thought I'd never see you again. You always think of the worst endings. I wasn't about to give up just because things got difficult. Why didn't you reveal yourself sooner? I feel like such a fool. I could say the same to you. You know I could never resist giving your stories a happy ending. So of course I'd be drawn to a place like this. Yes, but I didn't think it would actually work. Sometimes everything does turn out okay in the end. Thank you for reminding me of that. I love you. I love you too. Now, truly, everyone can live happily ever after. Tragedies end. But there is still one more achievement to collect. One last achievement and everything will be done. One final step to take. There's nothing more to see, my love, but if you'd like to reset, if you want to experience everything all over again, I'm happy to oblige. Shall we begin the resetting process? There are two options. You keep some progress, or you can lose it all. Your progress has been completely reset. Huh. Does this count as a bad ending? Well, just in case. Total reset end. I'm not crying, you are.